these are the unbelievable creatures found beneath the ice in Antarctica. Starting things off with a bang, we have the strawberry feather star. Now do not let that name fool you. This is no cuddly sea creature that you would want to see floating around at the zoo. This is a newly discovered species of feather star that looks like it arrived from another planet with the desire to feast away on humans. Much like the face suckers that you would see in the Alien movies, this thing has a ton of creepy long arms that scoop up pretty much anything it wants. There are 20 of these long arms in total, and they are all attached to a creepy bumpy head that sort of resembles a strawberry. This creepy creature was discovered over 1,000 meters below the surface, so finding another one should prove to be pretty difficult. No one even knows how many of these could be living in Antarctica or our planet as a whole, but it has seemingly opened up a whole new realm in the scary sea creature department. This mutant species was also a fairly recent discovery, so scientists and marine biologists are still trying to find out more information about the strawberry feather star. Next on our list is the Antarctica icefish. If you want to talk about creatures that completely defy the laws of science, then look no further. The Antarctica icefish is another creature that could pass as an extraterrestrial species, however it is just another one of Antarctica's strange anomalies. This incredible species has a remarkable translucent skin that gives the fish a really eerie appearance. However, that is far from the weirdest thing about this fish that has completely stunned scientists. Marine biologists made a shocking discovery when they first examined the Antarctica icefish and found that the ghostly sea creature contained 0 red blood cells. Now, if you were unaware, pretty much every living being on our Earth requires red blood cells to live, but apparently this icefish is the exception to that rule. While it doesn't even have any hemoglobin, the icefish has plenty of other proteins in its blood that allow it to survive in the freezing climate. Certain proteins and other liquids like glycerol work like antifreeze and help the fish stay alive in its icy home. While there are thousands of fish species living in Antarctica, not all of them are as interesting as this one. Up next is the Yeti crab. So the real Yeti that lives in the mountains above ground might still be an urban legend, but it turns out there is a real one living beneath the surface that is very, very real. Scientists managed to find this strange crab during an exploration mission that focused on underwater mountains known as mid-ocean ridges. The initial goal of the mission was to find new aquatic species that were living in the mysterious rock formations, and needless to say, the mission was a resounding success. The Yeti crab was one of the many creatures that was discovered in the ridge, and its thick fur is truly a sight to behold. While crab species are known to live in warmer climates and cannot survive in freezing places like Antarctica, the Yeti crab proved that its thick fur is all it needs to withstand the cold temperatures of the icy continent. The creature's discovery also means that there could be even more science to find creatures living inside mid-ocean ridges. Clearly, this underwater Yeti is nothing like its crab relatives, and has completely shaken up the scientific community. After that, we have Antarctica sea spiders. There's a lot of cool stuff lurking beneath the ice in Antarctica, but there's also a lot of creepy crawlers like this terrifying underwater arachnid. If you didn't already suffer from arachnophobia, then this might be the spider that pushes you over the edge. Now, while sea spiders can be found all over the world, and the Antarctica type doesn't look all that different from the rest of them, it does have some unique qualities that separate it from the rest. The obvious thing that you'll notice is that they are much bigger than other sea spider species, but they can also feature up to 10 legs. However, the creepiest part about this creature is its birth process. For starters, the male sea spiders are the ones who carry their unborn babies, which is already strange enough, but it's the moment the new babies enter the world where the real creepiness begins. The newborns will actually crawl out of their father's legs in the hundreds, and this sounds like a nightmare-inducing process. Thankfully though, you will not see these sneaking into your home, but the fact they are even out there at all should be enough to give you the creeps. Up next, we have sea pigs. Although they may technically be referred to as pigs, these little guys have absolutely nothing to do with the ones you'll see roaming around on the farm. While they do have pinkish skin and love to roll around in the dirt, that's pretty much where any similarities between the two pigs ends. Aside from the obvious fact that one lives on land and the other lives underwater, sea pigs are also considerably smaller and measure anywhere between 10 to 15 centimeters in length. While their little legs and antennas might seem a little creepy to some people, they actually assist the small creature with its very important job. Sea pigs are basically the unofficial garbage collectors of the deep sea because they eat scum and decaying plant matter on the ocean floor that no one else wants. There are still a lot of questions to be asked about the sea pig, including how it got its very misleading name, but it is undeniably another one of Antarctica's wild underwater creatures. And considering that they clean up everyone else's unwanted mess, the sea pig should be regarded as the hero the deep sea needs. Next up is the anglerfish. When it comes to mysterious deep sea fish, this one is probably the most famous of the bunch. This interesting fish species lives at some of the deepest depths of our oceans, so it is usually pretty hard to find them since humans have a tough time getting down to their habitat. They are able to live at such extreme depths thanks to their handy light source, but their bioluminescence is actually much different than other deep sea creatures. The anglerfish actually has a small tentacle-like appendage that hangs off of its head, which is fitted with a small light bulb that sort of looks like a reading light. This means that it can only really track down prey that is directly in front of it, but it can do so quite successfully. It also has a large gaping mouth that is filled with razor-sharp teeth, so a close encounter with one would probably not go over well for any unsuspecting crustaceans. There are hundreds of different anglerfish species living in the waters of Antarctica, and they are truly some of the wildest looking fish you will ever see. Next on our list is the Magnapinna big fin squid. So the strawberry feather star has a ton of long arms, but even it cannot compete with this wild looking squid. If you're zoomed in on a Magnapinna, it would be fair to assume that you were just looking at a regular old squid. However, if you zoom the camera out to the widest angle possible, you will discover that this squid is sporting some unbelievably long ligaments. It features 8 arms and 2 tentacles in total that help push it through the water, and these insanely long appendages can measure up to 6 meters in length. But the most frightening part about this alien looking creature is that it is not afraid to get its arms dirty. A shocking video of a Magnapinna actually managed to capture the exact moment that the creature lost its cool and whipped its arms in the direction of the camera. The alien-like arms can move remarkably quick to ensure that the creature has every chance to escape its potential enemy. Now, it should be noted that there have only been about a dozen recorded sightings of the Magnapinna in history, meaning this is one of the rarest and wildest creatures to ever be discovered on Earth. Next up, we have sea lilies. We've seen plenty of weird fish and squids, but how about an otherworldly looking plant that is calling Antarctica its home? The sea lilies are pretty interesting deep sea plants that come in all different shapes and sizes, but some of the weirdest of them all can be found in Antarctica. While some of them resemble the terrifying 20-armed feather stars, others are stuck to a surface with a long stalk that makes them resemble flowers growing in a garden. Some of these grounded lilies were actually found to be growing on the infamous Endurance shipwreck that is lying 10,000 feet below the surface, and it turns out they are having a bit of a feeding frenzy down there. The lilies actually have special hairs on their head that can trap small debris and organisms like plankton, which are also floating around the shipwreck. The underwater plants have also been nicknamed living fossils because they are some of the oldest organisms on Earth that have been around for over 480 million years. Up next, scale worms. It should be pretty obvious at this point that there are a ton of creepy creatures living in the frozen continent, but this one might take the cake for the creepiest of them all. While it may be small, the Antarctica scaleworm is by far one of the most terrifying things in the world, but thankfully, there's a good chance you will never encounter one in your lifetime. That is because scaleworms live in the deepest depths of the sea where they enjoy living in the chilly waters of Antarctica. They have slender bodies that measure up to 20 centimeters in length and have a ton of creepy looking legs that have a strange gold fur dangling off the ends of them. And while most photos of the scaleworm show what appears to be a small zombie head with a mouth, it turns out that it is actually just another appendage. The worm is able to fold the mouthpiece inside its own body, and when feeding time comes around, it will push the mouth out of its body and latch onto its prey. Then, after the feast is complete, the mouth folds back into the body, and the scaleworm carries on with the rest of its day. And finally, we have the amazing blood belly comb jelly. Every once in a while, a creature comes along that makes most of us question reality, and this is definitely one of them. This strange jellyfish is equipped with a special set of bioluminescent lights that look like rainbow LED lights you would find on a gaming PC. However, it also features a very unique red skin that helps hide these eye-catching lights from predators, as most deep-sea creatures can only see the color blue. What this means is that the comb jelly can basically be invisible to most creatures, and this makes it hard for anything to capture it. But if you thought its looks were the weirdest thing this creature had going for it, then think again. On more than one occasion now, the bloodbelly comb jelly has been filmed transforming from what looks like some sort of alien symbol back to its more traditional jellyfish form. Now, to a lot of people, this jellyfish screams extraterrestrial, but it appears that it is just another one of the wild deep-sea creatures that lurks below the thick ice of Antarctica. And that does it for a look at the unbelievable creatures found beneath the ice in Antarctica. Let us know which one was your favorite in the comments below. Don't forget to hit like and follow for more exciting videos.